Welcome everybody. I'm gonna try and do something new. I'm gonna step back from Let's Plays for a minute and I'm gonna try something new. Today I'm gonna be trying and reviewing stuff for once, which, oh boo, we got a critic in here. But I think it'll be fun. So this is I would like to make a quick disclaimer before we start. When picking these animes out, I do not find them inherently bad. For the most part, these are going to be blind reactions to these animes and documenting what I think of them. And if you end up being a fan of these animes and you don't like my opinion, I apologize. I'm picking these animes based on titles that I find that just seem weird, or somebody recommends to me that oh, this anime is not good. Don't take my reviews too seriously, as I'm not a connoisseur of any sorts. This is purely for fun. If you end up liking this video though, and you also have a recommendation for a bad anime, please let me know, and maybe I'll make that the next part in this hopefully evolving series. Anyways, let's get to it. I have a couple on the roster, so we're going to be spinning a wheel to see which anime we will be reviewing. Hope you like the sound effect preset that I chose for that wheel. Anyways, it seems we will be reviewing. This was recommended to me by who he likes to be called 8borg. In the past, he's voiced his opinion on the show and he doesn't view it very lightly. Soon I'll find out why, but quickly I'm gonna read out a summary that I found online. Mysterious Girlfriend X is an unconventional romantic manga and anime series following Akira Tsubaki, an ordinary high school boy who becomes bizarrely addicted to the drool of a mysterious transfer student, Mikoto Urabe. She reveals this addiction is love sickness and that her drool allows them to telepathically share emotions. Just by summary alone, I can tell that 8borg probably didn't like the show because of the drool aspect, which in my humble opinion I have to agree, but I'm not going to jump the gun too soon because I haven't watched it yet. Anyways, I'm going to go watch episode 1 and I'll let you know. So we start off our story. Immediately we're thrown into a dream sequence, and to sum it up, it's pretty much Akira giving a spiel about when a boy learns about sex, he immediately thinks who his first partner would be. And I might just be a real big douchebag, but I don't think when I was around the age when I first learned about it, that was my first thought. Well, to be honest, I don't really remember what I thought, but it probably was more along the lines of, well, that's pretty awesome, I can't wait to do that when I grow up. He then proceeds to be called down for breakfast by his sister, and he says this line that doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Batten down the hatches!
He says down the hatches as if he's about to eat it, but obviously he's not doing that, so it must have been an error with the translation. Akira makes his way to school, and lo and behold, there's a new transfer student. As you can probably guess, it's
Mikoto Urabe.
She immediately is shown to be someone who isn't very talkative and doesn't really seem to want to talk to anybody. She's then sat next to Akira, which he then greets himself to her, and she's immediately super surprised by that for some reason. In the following scene, she's immediately shown to be face down on her desk, which she does throughout the rest of the school day, up until one point where she starts laughing like a goddamn psychopath about something that she won't even disclose, so she seems even more creepy than she already did. This moment will kind of come back later, and thankfully it makes it a little bit better on why she was laughing, but it still, in my mind, doesn't really make sense on why it was something to laugh about, but, I digress. In the next scene, Akira has to go back to the classroom because he forgot his lunchbox, which, lo and behold, he finds an unconscious Urabe. He proceeds to try and wake her up, so then she may go home herself, which she does do, and Akira stands at the front of her desk for a second, noticing that there's a pool of drool, and his first thought isn't ew, that's gross, maybe I should clean that up. He sticks his finger in it, and then sticks his finger into his mouth. Not the first thought that would have crossed my mind, but, good on you, pal, whatever. He eventually does realize that what he did was kind of weird, but he doesn't seem like repulsed by it. He just didn't understand why he did it. Like, once again, we're in a dream sequence. This time, he's dancing with Urabe. At this point, he realizes that he might like her. A couple days pass by after the initial drool incident. During physical education, Akira passes out to what they think is the sign of a cold. Well, just kidding. It's withdrawals. After a while, Urabe notices that he hasn't been showing up to school anymore. So she takes a trip to Akira's house, and instead of bringing him his homework like most people think would have happened, she immediately accuses him of licking up that drool, as if that could be a guess that anybody would make. Since he was pretty much caught in the act, he admits to it, and she then tells him, that's why you're sick, because you're not really sick. You're having withdrawals because you have love sickness for me. She then proceeds to stick her finger in her mouth and then take that finger and stick it in his mouth so he would stop having withdrawals, which I'm not going to show that part because it's kind of low-key gross, but it does end up working, proving her point. He pretty much asks her, like, is there like something wrong with you? Is like there's something in your drool that like makes people like this? And she then proceeds to laugh like a psycho again. She claims it's funny the way he acted because she's never seen it before, but I didn't understand why that was funny. Which I'm not trying to sound like a total like stick in the mud prick, but the only thing about him that was remotely like crazy is that he's just talking stern. He does end up being okay to go to school the next day, and around the end of the day, Urabe asks if he wants to walk home together. And yet again, she is trying to give him his daily dose of cummies or something. For a bit now, I am going to be avoiding those scenes. Maybe I'll sneak in one for you fucking weirdos who really want to see two kids sticking fingers in their mouths. Then they ended up doing another dream sequence, pretty much the same as the second one. And then they, for the most part, cut to the end of the day, the next day. So same scenery, they're walking home. He confesses to her, and he has like the best skills at bargaining ever.
Will you go out with me? If you become my girlfriend, I'll be your boyfriend.
She's at first hesitant to say yes for the fact that, in her words, has to make a move on her in a way that nobody else could. So the move that he does is he explains this photo he took of a girl in middle school that he had kept in his wallet all the way up until high school, which he then proceeds to rip, talking about the whole photo doesn't matter anymore because he's got her now. Which, cool, I guess. I don't really have anything to say about it. I think the only takeaway I have is that he kept a photo of a girl. We don't know her yet, and I don't know if we will know her, but like, if she like didn't know about the photo, that's a little fucking weird. But that's obviously not something I know yet, so I guess I'll just leave it. Probably the weirdest way to ever accept a proposal, she does this. And I don't care what anybody thinks about this anime, that scene is fucking diabolical. Oh, see, it's so bad I had a fucking voice crack. She then explains that she does that shit when she's really happy or excited, which nobody fucking does that. I don't give a fuck that's an anime, that's like their quirk, but it's just so goofy. It's so fucking goofy. Anyway, blah blah blah. They're boyfriend girlfriend now. Boom. Episode 1 done. We opened episode 2 on Akira and a couple classmates. What I can only assume is them ranking girls within the same class, which yes is very gross. But I'm man enough to say that during high school I probably did the same shit, but honestly I can't remember. Eventually they're asked to rank Urabe and they immediately shit on her, which fucked up but kind of funny. We then cut to a scene with Akira and a friend, which I don't recall his name or if they even said it, but he is there too. And we get a nice look at Akira's stature, and he's a fucking manlet. His friend then proceeds to start groping his elbow, talking about how it feels like a boob, which it only reminds me of the kids back in middle school. They'd be like, you know, this part of the animal is called the weenus. Immediately after hearing the word boobs and then trying it himself, he just straight up starts imagining Urabe naked, which, okay. I don't even fucking care anymore, man. 2 episodes in, I'm already sick of this. He then asks his friend a hypothetical question, which immediately his friend starts to put up his fist as if he's about to punch him after he says, like, just keyword girlfriend is enough to him. Like, I'm gonna fucking beat your ass, or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, so pretty much he's saying, hypothetically, what do couples do first? Which, in response, his friend tells him that people usually hold hands. So, obviously, Akira, he tries to hold hands with Uribe on the way home, and she immediately withdraws from it, asking, what are you doing? This time, he actually, like, asks her if he can hold her hand, and she just bluntly tells him no, and asks why they would even do that. Which, mind you, apparently they've been dating for, like, a month at this point, so, I mean, you take it at your own pace or whatever, but like, golly. Akira yet again asks his friend for advice, and this time he's prompted to communicate about like hobbies and interests, because they've yet to do that even after a month. With this next trial, Akira does find out what her hobbies are, and apparently it's scissors. Not like anything specific, just scissors.
What's your favorite hobby? Magnets.
Which, for whatever reason, they proceed to show her pulling out the scissors from behind her underwear. Thanks for the panty shot, I guess. But it's not even what I'm worried about completely. It's the fact that it's like, how the fuck do you not cut your leg every time you, like, pull out or put away those fucking scissors? And they're very clearly trying to make this whole scissor thing like a quirk she has, because she does it like 3 more times through the rest of the episode, and it's just so stupid. Later that very night, Akira has a wet dream. I'm not going to dig too deep into specifics, not like there's anything specific to say. The only takeaway I got is that for some reason, Uribe has a doll like taped to her fucking head for some reason. Actually, while looking back through the clips, apparently that doesn't even happen yet. He has another wet dream later on where he does dream that. Once more, Akira asks his friend what comes before the step that he just did, which his friend replies with greeting each other, which, thanks smartass. But since we're well past that point by now, Akira pretty much ignores that information. So on the way home from school, Akira tries to do it his own way. As Uribe is about to take her own path home, Akira grabs her from behind, which she like totally wigs out and uses her scissors on a box behind Akira to show like if he did that again, it would have been him. So clearly that attempt failed as well. And by the next day, as a total godsend, Akira's friend gives him 2 tickets to a movie that they were going to see together, but he then notes that he had already seen the movies. So immediately to Akira, this would be a jackpot! He brings the movie tickets up to Uribe, and she immediately declines him, saying she has something to do that day. So Akira proceeds to pout like a little baby. Akira brings up how they've been a couple for a bit, and haven't really done anything couple-like yet. In Uribe's defense, she notes that they have their own way of doing things, like the drool stuff, I guess. And she wants to prove this drool bond, so they take a little detour to God knows where. And also, I don't know what this thing is, but it looks just like the Clash of Clans app icon. She has him like sit down on a chair and close his eyes, and the first thought I had is like, dude, you're about to get stabbed with those scissors. But in the most like twist of all twists, she just gets naked. Like, what the fuck are we doing? So she sticks a bit of her spit into his mouth, and this is where they try to introduce the idea that her saliva is supposed to make them connect telepathically. And the first thought, pretty much, like the first feeling that they mutually have is her horniness, which, gotta love it, dude. Like, what the fuck? Gonna skip forward a bit, because it's just a bunch of BS from this point on. So pretty much he has that wet dream I had mentioned before, and the next day she pretty much telepathically finds out about it, and she doesn't care about it, just about the doll part, which I will admit was a little funny, because I didn't think they would like come back to it. That's technically the end of the episode, but I just wanted to fill in some context that I saw, because I watched the second episode on YouTube, and it was such a mixed bag of comments, and real quick, I'm just gonna throw some on screen that I thought were pretty funny. The comment section either contains like degenerates, young children, or like bots, or just people who don't speak English, I guess. And this last one is my absolute favorite. I have no idea why, but that's like the entire credits. It's just different scenes of Uribe sleeping in just random places. Like, what the hell? We start this next episode off with Akira heading home much later than he usually does because he was class monitor for the day. Walking back to class, sad that he couldn't go home with Uribe, he spots his friend Ueno, which yes, I just figured out his name, kissing a girl named Ayuko. Ueno notes that they've been going out since their first year and that they would prefer that Akira does not disclose their relationship to anybody. So Akira agrees. Cue the intro. We get a bit of inner dialogue from Akira about how he found it crazy that his friend has been with a girl for quite a bit now without him realizing it. Then he realizes that he's a bit jealous of the fact that Ueno got to kiss her and he still hasn't kissed Uribe, which he's wearing his emotion on his sleeve, so Uribe notices that he's a bit down. Uribe asks if they can drop by the park for a bit on their way home. So they pop a squat and start doing some homework, and immediately Akira starts spilling the beans about the relationship he found out about literally the day prior, noting about how he found out about it because they were kissing. So Uribe responds with, "What, do you want to kiss me?" And of course, as the young high school boy that Akira is, he says yes, while being very flustered, of course. Uribe's solution to this, to answer his question, is not one you'd expect, but she tells him to hold on to this test tube, and for no reason at all, she proceeds to spin really fast. Anyway, she spits into the vial and tells him to lick it up before he goes to bed that night. He does what she says, and it ends up causing him to have a dream that seems a lot like just thoughts that Uribe was planting in his head. The idea being that Akira was just being envious about Ueno and his girlfriend kissing, and that their first time will come eventually, and that they shouldn't rush it too soon. A surprisingly wise thought coming out of this show. The next day, the two head back to the park. Uribe yet again asks Akira if he wants to kiss her, and pretty much Akira responds with the same shit that he had heard in his dream, and that's something that she liked to hear, even though I'm pretty sure the thought came from her anyway. At school the following day, some of the class is there to clean up the classroom. Course. Akira notices that there's another boy staring at Uribe, and the moment that Uribe steps out, so does he. Obviously, this is leading to a confession, which she doesn't say yes or no to. She gives the boy a day, and the reason she gives him a day is because she wants to test if the bond that her and Akira have can be the same with this guy. And for a reason that I still don't know, she decides, I'm not gonna wear underwear today. What? Akira is notified about this predicament at the end of the day, so the following day he spends pretty much all of it freaking out on what her decision is going to be. So like yesterday, the boy asks what her answer is, and what she does is she has him close his eyes. It smells like weed outside. She has him close his eyes, and she sticks a drooled up finger in his mouth to see if they can create the same bond, which is unsuccessful, so she flat out declines the guy, which, wow man, talk about loyalty. I feel like these people need to be like a lot more weirded out by getting like a drool covered finger stuck in their mouth, but they're just not. Uribe lets Akira know the results, and then also verifies that their bond is special, and then hands him a pair of her panties, which she was supposed to wear that day. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. I don't even fucking know anymore, man. Oh, so at the very end, Akira literally said the thing. He said the thing.
My girlfriend, Mikoto Uribe, is still a mysterious girlfriend. He said it! He said it!
We opened episode 4 to the class having lunch. Ueno is in a particularly happy mood because it's that time of the year where the girls switch to their summer outfits, which means Oka will be switching to her summer outfit. This then clocks in Akira's head that, oh, that means Uribe will be in her summer outfit. So they're both particularly excited to be seeing their girlfriends in a more revealing outfit. Oka attempts to ask Uribe if they can eat lunch together. Uribe declines and says that she usually doesn't eat lunch anyway. Oka politely asks if she can just eat at her desk anyway. Uribe says fine, and she lays her head back down. While Oka is eating her lunch, Uribe catches a whiff of something in Oka's lunch. Oka kindly feeds the food to her as if she's a baby, which makes everybody stare at them. Literally every single time, every time she tries to feed her something, she goes, ah. every single time. Which is like the weirdest shit, but we're gonna carry on. Akira curiously asks her if something happened between her and Oka, which everybody is like, oh, you just did it. But Akira does admit that it did make him a bit happy seeing her make a friend, because she hadn't made any friends yet since transferring to the school, besides him, obviously. She then puts on the record that she doesn't really need any friends since she has Akira, and that's all she really needs. This statement does make Akira a little bit happy, but obviously he still hopes Ube makes some friends. To the misfortune of the two boys, it seems that they won't even be able to see the girls' summer outfits, because they'll be practicing judo indoors while they are outdoors.
Practicing track. Haha, sucks to suck, boys.
Ube trips and totally eats shit, so Oka takes her to the nurse's office. So Oka helps her bandage up and reaches for a drink within a fridge nearby. They're both thirsty, obviously, because they've been running, so they both take their sips and whatnot. Oka irks in pain because out of nowhere her knee is cut up just as bad as Ube's, and the reason for all that is because the drink that they shared, they had transferred backwash and apparently also the same damage as one another. To further test this anomaly, Ube cuts her hand and then has Oka try some of her spit, and within seconds the same cut appeared on her hand as well. So we learn that they share a bond now as well, just like Akira and Ube. And then we also come to find out that Oka has technically known about all this for a minute now, as she, on her way home, will spot them doing their after-school activities. This doesn't convince Ube that she should be friends with Oka, but Oka is determined to be her friend and says that she will consider her a friend, no matter how Ube feels. Flash forward about a day, Oka wants to discuss something about the whole drool thing with Ube. She has Ube try some of hers, and Ube notes that it's the sweetest thing she's ever tried. The reason for that is that Oka had been thinking about her first kiss. So Oka immediately notes, "You must not have kissed Akira yet." Ding, ding, ding. We know this is true, obviously. What wild detective work, and I'm so surprised that Oka already knows the context of this whole drill shit, just like that. No beating around the bush, just gonna get straight to it, I guess. They go on with their day and enjoy lunch together. So yippee, they're maybe friends, I guess. I'm gonna be quick with episode 5 because there's not much to cover. It's their beach episode. What are you gonna do? It's the last couple days of school, and Akira wants to take Ube to the beach because he finds out that Ube really likes the beach. So after prolonging it for quite a bit of the summer, they go to the beach. When they meet up, Akira notices that Ube is very tan because she went to the beach before they had gone to the beach. They do their swimming and whatnot, and she has like a skirt on. They call it a skirt. I don't think that's what it's called. He pretends to admire the beauty of it, but he's more curious about her tan lines. She embarrassingly says that she has it on because she has a tan line in the shape of scissors, and he found that to be very fascinating. So on their way back, she's like, "I'll show you those tan lines again next year." So, okay. Super cool, bro. That's pretty much the entire episode. I just didn't feel like spending like 5 ever talking about an episode that really doesn't matter. Not like any of these episodes are like all that crazy yet, but you know. We start episode 6 with Akira clothes shopping. Lo and behold, guess who shows up? It's Oka. You guys remember Oka, right? Oka asks if Akira would like to get ice cream with her. Akira is very hesitant to come along, but she kind of just forces him to come anyway, no matter like what answer he gives. And Akira comments probably the grossest thing I've ever fucking heard, that she has the body of a grade schooler, but ginormous boobs. What the fuck? To himself, of course. My god, I can't imagine saying it to somebody. The two start talking about first names, and Akira realizes that maybe he should bring up the first name basis to Ube. While he's imagining this scenario, Oka gets up in his ear and says his first name, stating that she knew exactly what Akira was thinking. Oka brings up this conversation to Ube the next day at school. Ube becomes quite fond of the idea of calling each other by their first names. We pick this up because Oka sticks her finger in her mouth and then, takes a taste of her drool in that moment. So Oka starts blushing, so obviously that means Ube deep down is blushing. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for this mysterious girl act. It really comes off more as being jaded, and that Ube's emotions only really show when other people are trying to find out by tasting her drool. And I understand that's like the premise of her character, but to each his own. After school, Akira and Urube take a stop at the park because it's really hot. Akira even being nice enough to go fetch the two some drinks to help them cool off. Once Akira makes it back to the park, he finds Urube sleeping on a bench. He tries repeatedly to wake her up. The only thing that ends up doing it is him calling her by her first name. After she's awake, he tries to do it once more, but he pussies out and absolutely fumbles the bag.
Me. Man, those cicadas are loud, aren't they?
After seeing Urube smile from calling her by her first name, he has the idea of wanting to take a photo of her so he may cherish the image of her smiling. She's mostly against the idea because forcing a smile for a photo never turns out that great because it's not a real smile, which I 110% agree with because there's so many photos of me where I'm giving like a fake smile and it just looks like shit. The next day while waiting for Urube, Akira runs into, oh my god, you'll never guess who. Yeah, it's the girl in that middle school photo that he ripped up. She talks about how she wants to meet up for like coffee or something, talk about old times, but he says no because he's already waiting for somebody and he wouldn't he's being loyal, so good on him. Urube actually heard all of this. Urube is noticeably irritated, so Akira comes up with such a bright idea.
Hypothetically, if I went to a cafe with Hayakawa, would you be mad?
Which I get it's hypothetical, but she's already like not in a good mood, and I feel like a question like that is just only to make it worse. She says no, it wouldn't make her angry. It would actually make her very sad. Which yet again, we would have only found out by her sticking her finger in his mouth with a drool on it, because tears go down his face, which represent her tears, while she remains stone-faced as usual. See, I wouldn't have a problem with the whole stone cold act. The times when she really does show emotion, it's when she's pissed off or annoyed. Because yeah, she's shown other emotions, but that's not for more than like a second. Akira admits that he did have a bit of regret turning her down, but he chose her and that she's the one that he loves, which crazy enough brings a smile to her face, which Akira hastily tries to bring out his camera so he may capture that. But when he tries to, she sticks out her tongue in the photo, and then he realizes that he probably likes this better. In response, she does her whole vomiting up a bucket of spit that she supposedly does every time she gets very happy. Supposedly, because they actually don't show it, they just make a splat sound in the background, which yeah, got a good giggle out of me. Still, kind of gross. Alright, episode 7. We start off the episode with the girls running the track. Urube beats a girl who's actually on track, so they try to recruit her for the track team. Urube lets them know that she's not very interested in joining any clubs or sports activities. Disappointed with the result, they still hope that they can help with the sports festival coming up. Akira hears word about this from a rumor. He pretty much lets her know like, oh, that's awesome, you should do it, like if it really makes you happy and stuff. Clearly she has already weighed her options because she says no. She doesn't want to because then she can't walk home with her boyfriend anymore. And for like the 10 millionth time, he tries to throw his arms around her to hug her and she backs off because she still does not want to do it. Every time it happens too, it's always the same dialogue.
Tsubaki-kun, never throw your arms around me without asking.
Oka is trying her damnedest to try and get Urube to join the track team. Oka pretty much saying that she's not joining the team because Tsubaki doesn't want her to share her golden legs to the rest of the school. Also, I've picked up on this thing that Oka does, that she sounds super manipulative. It seems like she never really has an end goal, she's just doing it to do it. So I always think she's going to be like some threat and then it ends up not going anywhere, so we're halfway through the show and I don't know what the fuck her character is. Urube doesn't fall for these tactics and she sticks to her guns with, no, I'm not joining. I just want to quickly mention this scene when Akira is on his way to bed and his sister gives him his dry cleaning for the next day of school. After he leaves the room, she talks about, couldn't forget to do mine too.
I had mine clean too. It still fits.
Who the fuck is this for? Akira is found self-reflecting in his bed, mentioning about how he's happy for Urube and how she's making friends finally. But he also thinks about how he doesn't want to lose her either. We have a conflict. It's a good thing Akira got his shit dry cleaned, because he didn't go to school the next day at all. During lunch that day, Oka and Urube are talking about, man, it's just too bad for Akira that he can't come to school tomorrow to see you run around for a while. Not trying to diss anybody on track. Loki didn't mean for it to sound that way.
Are you gonna go visit him after school today? See how he's doing? Maybe make him feel better? Cause maybe if you make him feel better, he'll be good enough to go to school tomorrow and watch you run.
Apparently everybody's already planning on visiting him anyway, so whatever. So Oka leaves her with some info on how she thinks she can help make him feel better. But obviously, since Oka whispered, I can't disclose that yet, otherwise it would give it away. But I'm gonna tell you anyway, because it doesn't even matter in the long run, because she doesn't fucking do it. And by it, I mean wear a fucking swimsuit to somebody who's sick. I don't want to know about whatever Oka and Weno do, but like, it always seems to be something weird. Oh, and even though Uribe decides not to do it, she does actually wear the swimsuit the entire time, which, why even put it on if you weren't gonna do it anyway? Because it'd be too embarrassing to do it. I'm glad she didn't do it though, just because it seemed unnecessary anyway. But like, you did all the steps besides the last. Why did you even like attempt? Anyway, back on topic. Uribe comes over to deliver her usual amount of spit, I guess. She does heed that this time it actually is a cold and that it might not do anything for him anyway. Which you can throw that whole statement away because it works anyway. Apparently, Uribe had been thinking of like a hot summer day, which somehow physically warmed him up. Don't know how that works, but that's cool. Seems like Uribe got her happy ending for this episode because Akira ends up being a-okay to go to school the next day. We see him cheering for Uribe as she absolutely kicks ass at track. And she got this dub. She's once again asked if she would join track and she still ends up saying no. And her reason being exactly as it was before. She finds her boyfriend more important than a little bit of running. Then they pretty much end the episode off with Uribe saying like, these legs are for you, but you know, I don't really know. Like sometimes they have like a sweet message, then they do some like weird shit again. So I really still have no opinion on how much I like the show. I'm gonna go kind of fast with episode 8, at least towards the beginning part, because there's some more major stuff happening towards the end of it. We kick off episode 8 with an Akira dream sequence where he's fondling Uribe's boobs. Perfect way to start off an episode, I'd have to say. After he wakes up, he can't shake the feeling of feeling Uribe's boobs. So he tries what he can to hopefully shake off the feeling. So he takes a trip to the bookstore and wherever else outside, coincidentally ending up at Uribe's apartment complex. She politely invites him inside for tea, which they mention it as tea once, and then after that point as coffee for some reason. Doesn't matter. Uribe begins to notice that Akira's acting really strange and asks him to fess up. So he does. He fesses up and he admits that he had a dream last night of fondling her boobs. Not much to say about her really. She's kind of like, alright, fine. But she does it more in like a pseudo-touching way where she touches her own boob and then has him lick her drool. So there's no touching, but there is feeling. And then she just like folds immediately like, okay, fine. You can touch it for real. From this point on, the episode gets a bit weirder. So I guess be advised of that. Akira proceeds to get his touchings in, but then he takes it like a step way too far. He pushes her down and then starts licking her ear. I think he even tries to make out with her, but he stops before realizing that she's like crying now. Which like, holy shit. This just went up like 10 whole notches, man. Akira leaves, quickly realizing that he just made a mistake. The next day, Uribe's having a conversation with Oka, pretty much admitting that she didn't hate the feeling. So I guess that resolves that. Akira has his own feelings to bring up to Uribe, that he knows what he did was wrong and that she should smack him as hard as she can. And she slaps the fuck out of him. Oh! Uribe admits that she actually liked the feeling, so now they're all hunky-dory, and that's pretty much the entire episode. Episode 9 starts off with a pretty strange opening, I'd have to say. Uribe's waking up from a long night's rest, completely naked. Not really a necessary detail, but a detail nonetheless, because she ends up going to school with Major Bedhead. So out of the kindness of her weird little heart, Oka decides that she's gonna clean it up for her. This new hairstyle actually attracts tons of crowds to her during school. Akira then gets this like possessive feeling, and he doesn't like all this attention that Uribe's getting. So he pretty much says to her like, stop it, I don't like that haircut. I'm the only one that should like you. And she does. I don't think for the reason that he gave, I think she just didn't care for it. She pretty much asked him to fuck my shit up. And apparently him fucking with her hair is like a real turn on for her. Maybe just because I'm a guy, but I do not understand the appeal. All of this is explained to Oka, and she wants to try the whole hair scrambling thing with Weno just to see the hype. Someone's gotta explain to her what kinky means because she clearly doesn't know what the fuck it means.
Those two are doing some kinky stuff.
What does this mean? Pictures of Uribe with her hair up are starting to spread like hotcakes. Pretty sure people are buying them for like 300 yen a piece. Akira obviously isn't too fond of this, but of course, he can't say anything, otherwise that would blow his cover. Someone brings up how Uribe looks just like this idol named Imai Momoka. Akira assumes that maybe she's like from the school, and Ueno straight up just calls him a retip. Only in the subtitles though. They don't even match either, because I'm watching in English and they're telling me two different things. Akira actually ends up picking up a photo shoot magazine of this Momoka girl. Oh no, Akira's been spotted. And it's Ueno. This ends up causing a trickling effect, so Ueno tells Oka, and Oka tells Uribe. And I'll tell you what, she's not very happy about this. She asks him to show his favorite photo in there, and which I will admit is pretty sly for what she's about to do. As he's showing his favorite photo in the book, she cuts that bitch up with her scissors, pretty much ending this episode off with the idea that they can both be jealous about things pertaining to the other. Episode 10, Lock In. Less than a minute in, I'm already pissed off at Akira. Showing no disregard with how Uribe felt about the magazines and shit, he goes out and buys another fucking magazine. As he's leaving the bookstore, guess who he runs into? Aika, the girl from the photo, again. I could tell with how short their first encounter was that she was not done in the story yet. And early on, I guessed that she was going to be the character that makes a conflict between the two. And lo and behold, that's exactly what she's trying to do. Probably the only saving grace for me was this one scene where Akira says that Oka looks good, but I like the way he said it because he sounded like a Redditor when he did it.
She's short with a nice body. Really nice.
From the start, you can tell Aika is trying to tread lightly on the question she asks, like, do you have a girlfriend? Which I feel like anybody with not a thick skull could see right through the fact that she's trying to get with him. I lose all respect for Akira after this point. He has absolutely no loyalty for Uribe. He tries to taste Aika's drool. Thankfully, he stops last second. Oh, thank God for that last second. And he does the stupidest thing. She asks what his girlfriend's name is, and he just tells her. And I feel like if someone's asking you that, it's probably not for the right reasons. And I'm only saying that because of the context prior. Her delivery sounded suspicious. Obviously, I'm not giving the full context, but trust me, this girl gives off such a bad vibe. Later, Aika meets with Uribe, and from at this point, is spewing bullshit lies about how Akira is going to be at their culture festival, which he does go to, but that persuasion hasn't happened yet, so this is considered a lie right now. On that topic, the way Aika persuaded Akira is that she didn't want to go alone to her culture festival because, and this is a point that I didn't cover earlier, she just broke up with her boyfriend. And a little after that, apparently, he had punched her. This is a lie. The bruise that she showed was actually makeup. So I can only believe is that she didn't even have a boyfriend to begin with. And once more for good measure, Akira pisses me off once again. Uribe asks if he's doing anything Sunday night, and he lies. He says he's going shopping with Ueno. But as you'll soon find out, Ueno is also going to this culture festival with Oka. So Oka spills the beans to Uribe, confirming that he's lying. This is one of those moments where I don't exactly understand why he had to lie here. Sometimes you can understand why Akira lies, like if it's about Uribe because they want to keep their relationship pretty secret. But then it's stuff like this that doesn't make any fucking sense why he's lying. It's the day of the culture festival, and Akira notices that all the students are wearing costumes. And you'll never guess what Aika's costume was. Oh, you know, just her in her middle school uniform with a wig that looks like her hair when she was in middle school. I don't know like form of manipulation this is, but it's fucking weird. I didn't even know this show could have serialized drama, but they leave us in a cliffhanger right here. Episode 11 starts off with a recap, but we're not going to do that. Apparently, the just being broken up with thing was true. We never see this aforementioned boyfriend though, so, you know. We then move on to Oka and Ueno at the festival as well. While Ueno was in the bathroom, Oka got suited up for a maid cafe to surprise him. He doesn't really take it too well when a bunch of boys take pictures of her and storms off. While chasing him down, she notices Akira's here, but not with Uribe, so she goes to investigate. Aika lures Akira to an empty classroom to what I assume is to confess to him. Thankfully, he just randomly regained his loyalty, and he's very stern with his answer no. She's really not taking that answer because she knows that he deeply was crushing on her during middle school. So in her mind, he must still like me then. He doesn't love her, he loves me. She tries to get Akira to taste her spit and to make the relationship seem just. And then out of completely nowhere, Uribe comes in to intervene. So now we have a bit of a face-off, a drool to the death. Whoever's drool he can guess correctly and is sweeter is his partner to be. And of course, Uribe wins this because she's naked? Okay. I don't know what that has to do with, like, bonds and whatnot. Uribe asks if she wants to give it a try, see if they do have a bond after all. So she, too, gets naked. They don't even end up having Akira try her drool, so it doesn't even matter anyway. The rest of this portion lasts, like, 5 more minutes, so I'm just gonna skip to afterward, because it's not really any more than what I've already said. Besides, yes, she was rejected. I forgot to say that, but yeah. Even though she was told no many times, she finally got the idea. The moral of the episode is,
You need to remember the golden rule. Do to other people like you want them to do to you.
and hopefully this time that sticks in Akira's head, because these last 2 episodes, he has been the shittiest character to have to watch.
What?
We start off episode 12 with Oka insisting to Uribe to teach her how she did that shit with her scissors. She declines, as it's not something she likes to show off, which I call bullshit on that because they do it like twice every episode. Oka asks Uribe if Akira's doing alright after seeing her naked, which no, he's not doing that great. It hasn't left his mind a single time since. Uribe even wants to test this claim by tasting some of his drool today. He says no, but she pulls a fast one on him, and it's kind of awesome. She asks him why her heart's racing, and the reaction he gives is also pretty awesome. And we all know it's because he keeps thinking about her naked. And he proceeds to keep imagining her naked too, throughout the next day of school. Uribe is well aware of this entire situation, so when Akira has his daily spit for the day, I hate that I have to keep saying that, he feels all dizzy because of the emotions that she's feeling. He's so overpowered by this emotion, he tries to hug her again, and of course, she pulls the scissors down on him, because he didn't ask. She actually ends up nicking him on the forehead. She feels real bad for hurting him, so she takes him to her house so that she may bandage him up with her first aid kit, which it honestly took me aback a little bit because this is like the most emotion she's shown the entire show, and we only have 1 episode left after this. He tries her drool again, and before he can be all hasty, he tries to leave so that he may not do anything stupid again. Newsflash, he only does something partially stupid. He pushes her off of him and then falls into her first aid kit, almost falling back onto her. So instead he moves to the right and absolutely eats shit. He explains to her why he did that, and she lets him know in a situation like that it'd be okay for him to fall onto her. She bandages him up and sends him on his way. And that night we see another dream sequence that is so beyond annoying. I'm only gonna play a second of it. I feel like there's definitely a sound effect that you could have made that would have been way less annoying on repeat. Oh, and Winno's forehead's all fucked up too.
If I'd known you were gonna wear one, I wouldn't have worn mine.
I hate how much that made me laugh. The reason they're twinning out is because Oka wanted to try and learn how to do the scissor technique and maliciously almost murders her own boyfriend. There's a bit more to that scene, but I'm just gonna skip it because they really just talk about gauze and some other shit. Uribe divvies up today's portion, and it seems like this one's pretty special because Akira immediately tries to hug her, and they both allow it to happen. It's like, oh yay! Character growth on episode 12 of 13. We start off our final episode, surprisingly not getting ready for school, but coming back from it. Akira notices that his sister is dead asleep, but something he also notices is that she's creating a pool of drool on the table. I don't like that he blushed once he saw that. I'm glad he doesn't do anything with it, but like, that was enough for me to be like, ugh. Once she's awake, he asks her if she's ever had a boyfriend. Totally out of left field, and even she says that. So even in universe,
That was weird.
We cut to Uribe walking the city streets, and would you look who she runs into?
It's Akira's sister again.
Anyway, they get coffee together, and Akira's sister just reminisces. Not gonna get too deep in the conversation because it's pretty long. After that 5-minute talk, we cut to Akira and his family mourning his late mother, which, by the way, this is like the first and last appearance of his father. Where the fuck have you been, old man? I'm not gonna comment too much about the grievances because honestly, I don't really need to. They're paying their respects, that's all. Nothing to talk about. Uribe talks to Akira about the little meetup her and his sister had. Somewhere in this conversation, they get to Akira's mom. And out of respect, Uribe would also like to pay respects to her. So a couple of days after, that's what they end up doing. Uribe was even sweet enough to make food as her offering, along with a bouquet. To really feel the emotions during grieving, they lock arms and swap spit, and not in the kissing way. So in some way, Uribe knows how Akira felt the day his mom died. So in their own way, they can share these feelings with each other now. And that's pretty much it. That's their send-off. I will say, the last couple minutes were definitely way sweeter than I was expecting, but it also wasn't the kind of sweetness that most romances would have you expect. Time to switch it back to real me, because I'm about ready to take a nap.
So the results are in, and I gotta say, I did not like this show. Because it's 13 episodes, and I feel like with what they had, nothing happened. Through 13 episodes, nothing happened, I feel like. No crazy I don't expect a crazy amount of anything when it comes to anime because I like to be surprised. But bro, I feel like after like the first episode and like the last two, there was nothing happening. It's like Adventure Time where a lot of the beginning stuff in the beginning seasons were not correlated with each other. They were one-offs. And that's exactly how this show felt. Like it felt like a bunch of one-offs of them in their school lives, but none of it intertwined at all, and I just didn't care for it. And the characters, some of them at least, kind of suck. Like maybe I'm just being an asshole or something. I found nothing intriguing from the characters. I found nothing intriguing from the plots of like any of the episodes. The sweet little slice of life stuff that people keep talking about. Sure, at the last episode I get, because they're taking a trip, pretty much having a date, but that's the last episode. For the most part, you could honestly forget that they're a fucking couple. They don't do anything. They did live up to the title though. I think the character with like the most character was Uribe, because of her mystery, but other than that, I didn't really care for her either. I feel like I'm being too harsh, but honestly, it's like, I've been working on this video for like a week, and you'd think the episodes would simmer better in my head so I can think about it, but there's really not much to think about. I did skim quite a bit. I actually removed a lot of the weird stuff, mostly the semi-nudity. So honestly, if you don't want to take my opinion, at least watch the show if you haven't. But honestly, it's not for me. I guess it's just not my cup of tea, and I like romance animes, and I just, like I said earlier, to each their own. So honestly, I give the show like a 6. Characters are like a low 5. Some of the writing did get a couple giggles out of me, so that's like a mid 7. Otherwise, I just didn't care for it. It was not a bad anime. At best, it was mediocre. But it does not live up to the hype that I keep seeing.
I just want to say before I end it, there was absolutely no script in this entire thing. So if I sound like a complete dipshit, that's why. I was recording my voice lines after every single episode. I'm trying something new, so don't bust my balls too hard, okay? I hope you enjoyed, and if you liked what you saw, please subscribe. It really means a lot.